Okay, I am about to begin the build with bag A, our center differential, but I wanted to go over a couple things first. One of the nice things about the kit is that it comes with all the fluids you need for the stock build. I am deviating from the stock build. As usual, I'm going with a fluid viscosity mix that I want to use. Basically what I'm going to do is in the center differential, instead of using 30, I'm going to use 40,000. I'm going to use 30,000 in the rear and 20,000 in the front. That's what I'm going to go for my initial build out. And for the front and rear shocks, I'm going to use 35 weight TLR shock fluid. So let me just also go over some of the upgrade parts in case you didn't watch the first video or catch the part numbers. What we have here is a pack of sway bars for the front and the rear. Part numbers are TKR 6610 and TKR 6624, the last one being the front. I got the aluminum steering rack or Ackerman plate. This just reduces any chance of flex in that part of the assembly and makes for more accurate steering. It's TKR 6560A, and two little carbon fiber braces. One is let's see, one is the center diff plate, removes the plastic plate and puts in carbon fiber. It also has a fan mount, and the steering top plate, again, stiffness is the goal. The top plate is TKR 6598C, and the center diff top plate is TKR 6635C. I picked up the aluminum servo arm or horn, TKR 6563A. This replaces the plastic piece. It's much sturdier, less flex. And I picked up some spare diff parts. Since I'm going to be experimenting with diff fluids, I'm going to be breaking the diffs down at various points and changing fluids and seeing how that affects handling. So I wanted to get extra differential gaskets or seals, some O-rings for the differentials, and some shock X-rings. These are, the most wearing items. The two diff items are TKR 6515, TKR 5144B, and the shock X-rings are TKR 6709. So these are not going to get used immediately. They're just going to get put into the spares box for later. And these mod parts will get put in as I do the build. So everything's very well organized. As you can see, we've got our bags B and C are our various diffs. Bag D is our final diff case and parts. And so let's start with our center diff. So they give us an exploded view, so we get an overview of what the entire assembly is going to look like in order, and then we go on to step A1. So they want us to apply a little grease to the outer edge of the diff. Now, I wouldn't go overboard on the grease, but you definitely want to cover these surfaces. I'm just looking to see if there's a particular slot to put the pin in like the old days, but apparently not. So okay, so it looks like the holes are parallel to the slot, so that should make it easy to figure out how to get this down and in. So these little pins just take a little bit of patience, but once you get them in, center them up. We've already got some grease in there, so we could just drop this onto the pin. Now I'm going to go ahead and prep this. Sometimes having grease on your fingers is helpful. Okay, so that's ready. Now I'm gonna, instead of greasing this, I'm just gonna use lube. This is our center diff, so we're gonna use the 40,000. And because I'm going to be running on very well groomed, very smooth tracks, they're indoor. They're not going to be carpet, but they're going to be close to it in their performance level, high grip. And so I want the power transfer from front to rear to be close to even. I don't want there to be a lot of slippage between front and rear. And then my front wheels, I want them to be pretty loose. I want the power to easily transfer left to right so that there's cornering is easy versus a little harder. And then in the rear, I want the rear to be stiffer for straight line acceleration. What I'm doing here is holding the spider down while I rotate the gear to get a get the fluid to flow down in between the gears and fill in as much as possible. If you look in our directions right here, it shows you the fill level, which is basically the top of the gears. I'm just letting this sit and level out. Could wait all day because this stuff is thicker than honey. I have to say this goes together very nicely. Some diffs you can fight and fight and fight with the gaskets and trying to get a good seal going, but not this one. Great. Let me pause that for a sec. To help keep track of things, I'm going to use a silver Sharpie here. And mark these F and R. So that way I'll be able to identify these during the build process And if I take things apart and put them back together, I'm going to know which one has front and rear, since most of the time I'll probably be running different fluids. And these are going to be basically the same build out. So this is our front. Our front is going to be 20. and the front diff is assembled. I was just removing a little excess diff fluid there. Okay, bag C.